All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. We rolling?
Yep, we're good to go.
All right, so welcome to episode 62 of the Grindhouse Podcast. As you guys can see, I got a bunch of guests with me. This is the KMF squad over here. So
Yes, sir.
we got Chewy, we got T the Truth, we got J Moon, we got Kashix2, we got Tyler Lovett, and we got Limitless in the house with us. First things first, before we get to the podcast, remember, like, subscribe, comment, share, show us love. Definitely show KMF some love. They've been doing their thing. We're going to find out about what they've been up to. As you can see, we're not doing the typical Zoom for this one. We're actually in my apartment. So yeah, this is like the first in-person podcast that we did since like the West one we did in his backyard. And that was that was outside, you know. So it's been a while since I've seen people, and I've definitely had this many people in my house. But I absolutely welcome these guys because these dudes are fucking killing it right now. How y'all doing?
Appreciate that, man. Doing good.
How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. We just been recording for what, like 4 or 5 hours now. So
right
it's like we've already been like talking, shooting the shit. I've gotten to know these gentlemen so much more, and I feel like I've learned so much more about what you guys have been doing. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about you guys. So if you guys didn't know, Tyler Lovett's got an album that just came out last week, 21. All streaming platforms, check that out. We're gonna start with him. Talking about what he's up to. He's right now crushing a little bit of weed on a $1 bill.
Usual. Yeah, man. Like,
dollar.
if I'm gonna jump right into it, I mean, 21 is a project that we recorded at Quad Studios, and it was really like inspired by just Lynn, my experiences as like a whole, and my friend when I was 16, Celine Ford, passed away. So like the 21 and everything is pretty much like an ode to him, and like, you know, since he passed away, everything's just been like, you know, change life, like be better, do better. And like, you know, I tried to kind of give a picture of me trying to do that on the project. So
That's sick.
Yeah.
And you know, before we even dive into that, I want to just, for the people who don't know who you are, do you want to just give a little brief introduction about like, how, like who are you like within this group? You're definitely a personality, man. You were dropping earlier, dude. This guy was dropping so many gems. I was just like, we were all kind of just sitting there like, ha, goddamn, that was crazy.
yeah, I appreciate
but
that.
yeah, like real quick, like, so you're from Lynn, obviously born and raised, right?
Yep.
And you, this is your first album. This is your first like full length project,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Word, right? So tell us about how you got connected. I know we just answered these questions, so my bad. There's
Yeah,
like
no
a lot of
problem.
like overlapping. But talk to us about like how you got connected with KMF, how you met up with J Moon, with Kashi, and you know how this thing all came together.
Yeah, man. So me and Chu have been working on music for some years now, since around we were 16. Like C came into the picture with that like a few years later. Like me and Jay have known each other since elementary school, just kind of like always done our own thing. And I mean, in the past 3-4 months, like 6 months even, like we just kind of been like touching base, building the groundwork. Like, I mean, for the past year, I think Chu and Jay have been working like on their own, like just like they started building on their work and stuff. And then as Jay and like Trey started to like build upon everything, like I think me and Chu and T being faces Jay saw a lot over Chu's house was just like, okay, like he was connected a bunch of dots over here and was just like, okay, I want to connect these guys with this all too. So, I mean, over time, the last 4 months or so, like I would say that's really when this is all come together like you're seeing it now.
Yeah, I feel like I've been the one that's watching it from like behind the scenes. I'm always like kind of like, you know, watching you guys, what you're doing on Instagram. So I'm always seeing what you guys are doing. It's always like, I'm always first of all impressed because you guys are always working. And I say that about, I feel like I say that about a lot of Lynn artists, and that's not me just blowing smoke up y'all asses. You guys are just straight up working. I feel like I've been following the scene long enough to like appreciate when like real work is being put in. And just the past 4 months, 5 months, the type of work you guys have been putting in, just the whole, like you were talking about Quad Studios earlier. Yeah. That whole like venture into like, we're gonna, you know, go over here where legends make music, and we're gonna drop not just one record, not just 2 records. Like, how many projects are y'all dropping this year?
We recorded over 200 plus songs at Quad Studios.
We got multiple projects done at Quad, all of us.
4.5 months.
Not just one project, we got multiple done at Quad.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made y'all be like, we're gonna go to the most top-notch place we can think of and put all these records? Like, who? Yeah, let's hear about that.
I mean, I don't know. I just thought it would be a good idea to put us to the test coming from Lynn to see if we could step into a big studio like that. Something I thought of as like, a kid when I first was watching all like the videos of people in studio, would see all the big mixing boards and speakers, and I was like, damn, I want to be there. Finally got a chance to make that happen, and I knew I didn't want to do it alone, because I'm just that type of person. So obviously having KMF already built up and everybody being so willing to go was also played a part in actually going there, even for myself, you know what I'm saying? We moved forward as a unit and we're able to get there and execute. So once we executed that first time, we did it 200 plus more times.
That's dope. So if you guys don't know, that's J Moon right there. Artist, but also music is like, you're doing your damn thing. You're just doing it all.
CEO, father, producer, everything.
What made you, like, so keep moving forward. I think we discussed earlier, KMF Trey, who's not here. Shout out to KMF Trey.
Shout out Trey, man.
He started KMF, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about, like, from where he birthed it, how did we get to this point?
So I think what happened was, if I'm, this is from what I know, you know what I'm saying? He got it from a family member who, had a near-death experience, and that was something that, they try to, like, always use as their motto, and he asked them, hey, I want to use that for this whole music thing. I think that's a great message, and, that family member approved. And once that happened, he made music with me. We had, like, a 24-hour session, real deep convos about life, our brotherhood, how we know each other. We obviously knew each other through music, but, like, even deeper than that, we've always had a connection because of Eddie and stuff. And he asked me, like, you should help me out with this and be a part of this. And at that time, we both ain't have shit, bro. Like, we just was looking at each other kind of like, literally, like, I'm going to put it in perspective for you. We was on Chestnut Street, like, the apartments, like, in the alleyway, fucking broken blinds, 2 shitty speakers, a shitty mic, small computer, and we were making some crazy bangers. We made Pop My Shit with Cashy there, Cap, all that shit. So we came from that, and now it's this. So that's kind of how it all came about. In that very room, really. Him and me that day talking. We wanted to do everything everything we're doing now is what we've been wanting to do. We were talking about it. We just didn't have that opportunity till about 5 months ago, and then we haven't stopped since. That's why I said I'm very grateful to still be doing this shit.
Yeah, and you know what I love about, we were talking about this again earlier because we've been talking all day, but like to keep moving forward and. Just the fact that that word that derives from is really like in the Lynn mentality, like always grinding, always moving forward, and not letting anything stop you. And that's like, or something about her grindhouse, like that's really what grindhouse is also. It's just like we're grinding, we're moving no matter what. We're not gonna let anything get in the way. We just do what we want to do. We do like what we dream of doing, and we just put in effort. So it's like I fuck with the KMF squad because that like the philosophy is very similar to what we do, and I see it, and I see how you guys do shit. It is like high quality, but also highly respectable. Like the way you guys move and the work you guys put into it is crazy. And in terms of that name also to keep moving forward and just that grinding and the blue collar, the chip on the shoulder, I think is what Ty said earlier. I feel like I hear that in your music too, just with your 2 releases. So Ty, bringing it back to 21, first of all, it's a bop. Like it's a banger. Like right from the intros, like the bass is booming, like your voice comes in, like I'm dancing, I'm grooving, it's crazy. But there's also like, there's that fun element to it, but there's also that deeper element to it as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember when we were like we had the songs like picked out and we were just trying to figure out like, what's the right order, this and that. And like even like coming into the days where like about to like put it out and stuff, I'm just looking at the list and I'm like, like the front end is kind of like, the more like on some like rap shit type of tempo, and I was just like, they're either gonna just go for it or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're either gonna be fucking with it and get to the softer shit on the other end and be like, oh shit, wait a minute, like what the fuck is happening here? Or they're just not, like, or like they might get lucky and listen to one of those songs first and be like, what the fuck is this? Like, so I just was just like, you know, just fucking, just kind of gotta wing it, like especially with it being like the first project. I think like I probably would have had projects out had I not just overthought a lot of things, was just like overthinking how to do it, like how to put it out, like what's the right way. And it was just like, I was never even giving myself a vision of a right way. It was just had to be something I had to do to understand. And now that I have, I don't even know how I'm gonna go about the next one per se, but I feel like I understand it a little bit more as far as all that.
How's it feel like to have your first official album be recorded in a legendary like studio? Like I don't think many people can say that about their first release. You know? Like,
yeah, crazy. It feels crazy. Like there's still not a moment where like when we're in there, like it's still something that's brought up every time. Like whether it was the first trip I went, or like sometimes like we're walking out and being like, yo, like bringing up like Tupac in this elevator again, like. But just because that shit like sticks with you, you're just like, yo, this shit is real. Like this building is really this place. Like, and like not even for a moment.
You might as well be at the Smithsonian.
Yeah, like if for us exactly, because there's plaques of, you know, records that have been recorded there, and it's all this like memorabilia and history, and you know, it's like how can you not be inspired or just like, you know, you can't take it for granted when you're in there like that this is really like what this place is. Like I'm not even fabricating that it's greater in my head, like it is really that, and the people who come through here are really taking things to that level, like, and it makes me feel like, well, I'm here too. Like, you know, it's like if you running out with the Lakers, you're like, oh shit, like I'm playing with the Lakers, like we in the fucking building. Like that's how it feels sometimes. I feel like I'm fucking Madison Square Garden on the court or some shit. Like I'm like, this really, like this is what people dream of. Like I can't pretend like it's not a dream to be recorded there. It's a dream. Like even with this level of success with the music, like it's still been a dream, like for real, like been amazing. Like it's insane.
And you had a funny anecdote that I want to bring up because it's just like a really funny story we got to get on the pod, which is like, well, the sessions, we're kind of making like a drawing comparison to like the Dreamville sessions. Like you guys are all in this working, everybody's got their block of time. Chu's in there doing his thing, T's in there doing his thing, Wes is writing here. This is a whole creative lab happening, right? And you just made, like, I just love the way you told the story about like Jay telling you got 30 minutes to lay on that track. Can you tell that story again?
Yeah, it was actually a track I was getting on with Jay. Trey, I probably had been like maybe got out the booth like a half hour before that. Somebody was in, and sometimes it just happens like that. Like you might get out the booth, somebody's in next, and if you're gonna do a feature and that person was ready to do the next, you're like, damn, instead of having 3 hours, like we're looking at 45 minutes or something. And that's kind of how Trey came in the room. It's like, yo, you still want to be on that song? You got like 30, 45 minutes max, like, or you're just not gonna be on it. I was like, damn, like I'm definitely trying to be on that shit. Like, had to just like, you know, me and Dennis recently did a song where we were just like crunched for time, and I would like for a moment I was like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna finish this song. Like, let me just see what I could do while Dennis is in the booth, while Chu's doing the mix. And I literally wrote the verse in like 20 minutes. I was like, yo, sometimes like, I think one of y'all said it earlier, something about like, I think it was the Marvin Gaye thing. Like I've said to Chu so many times now for months. I'm like, yo, sometimes it's not even like I write this shit. Like, cause it doesn't make sense to think that like I'm writing it, because I'm not writing it when there's just like a fucking few words zapped into my mind. I'm like, I didn't exactly write that. That whole fucking line was just like in my head. I'm like, so sure, like, I'm not even taking credit for that. I'm just rolling with it, like shit like that. Yeah. Fucking
beats be feeling this like the exact same way. Like sometimes when you just finish a beat, you're just like, did I just do that? Like, did it just come about? So like, I can tell when that feeling comes about for these guys.
I mean, Shoes made beats when we in the studio, and everybody walks in, they're like, bro, what the fuck is that? Like, what are you doing right now? And he's just, yeah, I'm cooking, bro. I'm here, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally.
Yeah, it definitely be like that too, because people will walk in and they'll just like hear some beats, and it'll be like a little death match trying to see who wants the beat. So it's just kind of and that's why like seeing what a beat is and then seeing the artists that are around, so many collabs come about from that.
Right.
So it's dope.
How do you settle who gets the beat? I'm curious.
Who's first?
I mean, a lot of the time, the person who wants the beat the most is like already right into it. They're already in the zone. Like they're in like a place like they're there, but you could tell their mind and their soul is like somewhere. It's roaming around, or it's lost in their phone, or just writing some shit down. So
whoever's feeling it, I guess, gets it, right?
Yeah,
whoever feels it the most.
But you can tell when somebody else is really feeling it, and then that's where it's like I'll talk to somebody. I'll be like, "Yo, you guys should collab on that." And like, I mean, a lot of the time, like if I'm not seeing it, he's seeing it, or whoever wants to get on it, they'll just go right to the person. And like, I feel like making something that gives that initiative is like what I'm trying to do all the time. So it's definitely like a big part of like, I guess just like being so involved all the time, because I know that being an artist, you can kind of get like a little bit of a different perspective. So being on this side is cool.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, that's Chewy right there. The famous tag Chewy, is that you? You've definitely heard them before, so check them out for sure if you haven't heard. I mean, how many, are you on everybody's pretty much projects? Like, have you made beats for everybody in KMF so far?
Yeah, I've made beats for everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm on like everybody's project. If I'm not on their upcoming project, it's projects later that we're gonna.
I ain't gonna lie, he the hardest working producer out here right now. He's just working so much. There's nobody working more than him.
Appreciate you, my guy.
You said you made beats every day. You're pretty much cooking every day, right?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 beats a day. I mean, I haven't cooked anything today.
For 3 summers?
Huh?
For 3 summers? No, I'm just kidding. That's Kanye line.
It's been probably more
the
than
past
that.
3 years, this is like what I've been doing nonstop. Like, I left my job at medical marijuana dispensary in 2017. It was like, talking with Ty a lot. We were just trying to figure things out. I ended up getting an old job back in like 2018, like delivering pizzas, and then it was done after that. I couldn't be working. So ever since then, I've just definitely tried getting to the point where like because I make like probably like 50 beats a month or something like that plus. So I'm trying to make sure I'm doing 2 a days. That's like a big thing for me, because I just feel like that repetition, that consistency, it'll turn into something, even if I'm not making what I want to make that day. But sometimes, I have to make certain things that other people will like, and maybe it's not like my favorite thing, because I like different kinds of music, and it's a daily thing. Some days I want something that's a little bit more dark. Sometimes I want something that's a little bit brighter. So
Yeah, and I was actually conversating about your music taste, and I find this really interesting, because I do feel like that always adds to like whatever your influence is, somewhere some line trickle into the music that you make. And you're into all types of music. You want to talk a little bit about that, or what you grew up on, I should say?
Yeah, like I grew up on like Green Day, Blink-182, Slipknot, Devil Wears Prada, like just different rock bands. I like EDM too, like Skrillex, Roscoe, just like niche like dubstep artists are super inspirational to me, just because I like heavy bass. Like you said it with Ty's project, the intro.
Listen to the intro.
Yeah, man.
Boom,
like,
already.
If a song doesn't have like a specific 808 pattern or something at this point, to me, it needs to catch people in the way music's moving. I'm following that, but I'm still trying to put my best foot forward on that.
Word.
Yeah.
T, I wanna talk to you also, because you're also producing on this. And you guys also like I'll be honest, bro. I thought you guys were related at first. I thought you guys these two are absolutely related.
Don't do that.
The beard game is, first of all, like impeccable. You guys have full on beards. It almost looks exact. So I was like, these guys are related, right? Because you're making beats. T, when you started, were you already making beats when you met Chew, or did Chew put you on to making beats? I forgot. We had you on the podcast before and you told this story. I'm just trying to get it right.
So like,
We're all cut from the same cloth. That's why we look alike. It just happens that way.
so like, when I met Chu, I was very bad at making beats, and me and Chu just got real good at making beats together, and like we got out the mud.
Was that the approach? Was it the two-a-days you're talking about that made you better at making beats?
Yeah, bro, you just gotta stick with it, bro. You gotta fall in love with the process.
Stop cooking.
Damn. Yeah, exactly. Don't stop cooking. Just keep working. Just keep moving.
Working.
Cash, I want to talk to you about Baki real quick. So Baki coming out March 15th, right? March 15th. That's official?
Yeah,
Can I say that or should I edit that out?
No, March 15th.
All right. March 15th, Baki's coming out. So I've already listened to it. Kashi gracefully, like a couple months back, get me like a little sneak preview of it. It's great. It's amazing, bro. It's an amazing project. And also, like, wow. Like, it's also a very, like, there's moments in that project where, like, I was in that but I've said this before with your music, you do have that ability to touch the soul in a way that, like, most musicians are unable to do. And you're not afraid to be more candid on your records. You're not afraid to talk about things on your record. You're not afraid to show emotion. And Baki, the reason I'm talking about that is because Baki is like that. Like you deal with a lot of loss on Baki. You talk about a lot of losses on Baki, and it's in your mental health, how it goes through. So I just want to know, like, was the process of creating Baki more like a therapy for you? Like, what was that? Can you talk just about that? Because
It's funny how you said that, because when I first started making this, what is Baki now? I didn't like want to make it that personal. I just wanted to make a banger album that had pain. I wanted like a lot of pain. And I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just go all the way. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna just go all the way. So I just started touching stuff up, changing certain lines, putting stuff in it. Then it all came together perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like, I don't want to say premeditated, but like I was like, yeah, I kind of want to make it painful and personal to me, because it's really for my family. It's not even for like none of the fans. It's not for nobody. It's for my family before anything. So,
yeah, and like there's that it is a banger too. Like at the same time, it's like it's sad. And there's songs like I think like FTD, right?
FATD, produced by Chu.
That's probably one of my favorites. I mean, I know
Yeah, you and me
can
both.
listen to it right now at this point, but that is probably my favorite on that record. You want to just talk a little bit about that, and if you want to talk about the production behind that, I'm all ears.
Yeah, FATD is Feelings at the Door. That was made on our way to New York for like, I think that was the first time we went to Quad, and we was going. I already had a bunch of songs, but I didn't know what I wanted to do to Chewy's beat per se, because I already had a bunch of songs to other beats. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna go right. Chew sent that beat. I listened to it the whole ride there. I was smoking and just writing that whole time. And I don't even write like that. They'll tell you I don't even really write like that, bro. I go in there and freestyle a whole verse. But when I heard that, I'm like, nah, I gotta write to this and get it right. After I did that song, you should have seen the vibe. Like the vibe that was inside the whole place, it was like, nah, bro, that's that shit. Like, you feel me? Chewy would tell you, man.
Yeah, when you sent it, the day you sent it to me, I was like, this is perfect because I'm on my way out the door. My favorite place to listen to music by far is in a car, with some good sound, or at least halfway decent sound. And that's how I usually can tell if like a project is like good. If I'm like driving and I can't stop moving, I look like an idiot, like just like bobbing my head and shit like that. What's wrong with this guy? Yeah. That means that's just a crazy record. And that's what I was doing with it. It was like, there was moments where I'm like, man, this is like really touching me, and I'm feeling like, because it takes you to a place. And then there's moments where I'm just like, fuck, this is great.
Yeah.
So it's like, but Ty, same thing with your record. You guys have this ability to like, you're going from like this, different moods, you're moving around this way, and then you're kind of like feeling it a little bit this way.
Yeah.
And I think, and maybe this is just like the, just emotions. Like I think like when that roller coaster of like the highs and the lows, when I hear that in people's music and the whole project, man, that's the shit I love. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like me and Cash connect a lot on that type shit. But on the Feelings at the Door, like, I feel like the reason that song is so amazing is because the hook is like almost fun, and it's like so
And a fun
enjoyable.
fact, he was supposed to be on that song
Yeah.
too, and he chose not to do it.
Yo,
That's another thing. That's what's
I just
crazy.
wanted the second Cash verse. The first verse was just too good that I was just like, this just feels like your song, Cash. Like I just like already felt like that second verse was gonna be how it was. But he was like, even now how he just said it, you could tell like his energy is like he was supposed to be on that shit. But that's just an amazing song, and I knew it was gonna be what it is. Like it's just like the verses are just too good and too like introspective, and like paired up with like a hook that is like weirdly enjoyable, like with the level of honesty, like it's hard not to like
Craziness.
yeah, yeah, it is.
There's layers. There's so many layers to it, you know?
Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, crazy project.
I mean, which is funny because I think I can remember like right when you finished the song. I feel like for some reason I feel like I was cooking up a track for you, and I think I was just like it was just a lot like it was a lot more of like a trap beat. It was just a lot harder. It's a lot darker because I feel like FATD it has this like warm nostalgic feel to it. So it was cool to like just be cooking up in one room, and then I just went in the other room, and like you said, the whole vibe just changed everything. It was it's always nice to just see songs just like really sway people the way that it just sways you when it listen.
I want to continue with the sessions at Quad and what that's like, but more so on you're, as we mentioned before, you're an artist, but also you're like a music exec, and you pretty much do like a lot of the managing for the group, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
What's that like when you're managing all these dudes in the creative process in that studio? Like, is there like you're like for a tie, you got 30 minutes to lay down the track? Is like what like can you take us behind the scenes on managing the whole process of laying down tracks and like working with everybody and making sure that things are getting done? How does that look?
So, like first and foremost, everybody got to have creative freedom. So that's important. That allows everyone to, even if it is 30 minutes, they still come up with the best shit possible because no one's controlling what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is literally like probably 80% of everything. And then the rest is just making sure that they can believe in like, even the person behind the boards, when they're recording, it's a quick process because he's also making it easy for them too. If they fuck up, they do the takeover, it's quick. It's like instant almost, like they don't have to wait. It's not going to knock them off their, like momentum. They're going to go right in. And then the comfortability of just having, just the space that we have, the open space at Quad where you can go and like lock in a corner in like this spacious room and just write your verses and stuff like that. So managing that creation process or even just managing them as a whole, it's like, it's not that hard when you got their level of talent and they got creative freedom. All I really have to do then is just be able to reach out to the right people and get all these names and coming across the right boards and screens and putting people in position to win. Really, like just all the above, playlisting and publishing and distribution, all stuff that has to be that's in the works from my end, on the music executive end.
I want to talk about staying on the music exec thing because I mentioned earlier like the talent in Lynn. Crazy. You got we have so much talent. It's like oil like bursting through the ground. But like I would say, me personally, I would say that media wise and just even music exec wise, I feel like that's where we lack. I think, and so in my opinion, some of the fans we also lack. But like we have the artists and we have the talent, we have all that stuff. But I feel like we could use more media. We could use more people covering the culture. We can use more people supporting the culture in different ways. And so my next question is like, so let's say there is somebody who's like maybe 12, 13, 14 years old. They really fuck with music. They don't even care that much about rapping, but they want to be the next Steve Stout, the next, Kevin Miles, whatever. Like you coming up in this game as both an artist and an executive, like what advice do you have for somebody watching right now trying to figure out where do they start in this and how do they start?
Well, I know most people probably say like get a name and all that stuff, but really it's just if you got to figure out if you're gonna do it by yourself or if you're gonna do it with people. And if you're gonna do it with people, you got to find people you trust, people on the same level as you, people that are gonna have your best interests all the time. And really after that, it's just about consistent work. Like you're never gonna do anything without the consistent work. There's no skipping steps. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have any fans, it's hard to get a deal. You know what I'm saying? So you got to build fans. So there's no skipping that. There's no skipping anything. You got to have your legal stuff straight. You don't want to be the guy getting an LLC when the deal is offered to you. You're already behind. You know what I'm saying? They already have leverage on you there. You know what I mean? So it's all about building leverage as a young person, like starting out. Really, that's all it is. You know, from building the catalog, like you said, like I told you, we have 200 plus songs. That's already in its own sense. It's like worth something. You know, that's already leverage. A label doesn't have to come to us to provide us recording money now. You know what I mean? We're already good. But even beyond that, like besides us, like if you're doing it out there, it's just building leverage and really not skipping any steps. Start by solidifying your business, and whoever's a part of that needs to be under that, and whatever you're investing in has to have some type of value to you, even if at first you're losing a ton of money. It's got to have some type of value to you. Like recording songs doesn't give you money right away. Royalties, sponsorships, etc. But really, it's just don't stop, don't skip any steps.
Word. And like, I want to mention this part too, because I feel like this is something like Crit and I, like we learned just through Grindhouses, like the building of the brand. And you guys are doing great with that, like building that KMF brand, making that brand recognizable in Lynn, and not just through the music, but also through the fashion. You guys got the fashion thing popping. Like, you guys are definitely building not just the talent and the work, but also the brand and notoriety as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, like as far as like the brand, I think to me that's something that I focus on heavily. Is really just the lifestyle of it, because at the end of the day, like when people categorize us as a group, it like makes sense, but it doesn't. It makes sense because we all come from the same place, and we all share a lot of the same views. But at the end of the day, Chu's music is totally different from Limitless's music, and they're their own entities. You know what I'm saying? They rock. They could be, Chu can be in Cali. Chu can be in Cali the same night that Dennis is in Atlanta. And that doesn't mean that they're not KMF, you know what I mean? KMF's the label, the lifestyle, the group, the brand, the mantra, the only option, all that, you know what I mean? That's really what we're trying to build that as. So the fashion obviously expresses that, like he's wearing his shirt right there.
Show that out to the camera real quick, I'll see it. Yeah, look at that.
I'm here because I live for the chase. That's a one of one. And it's got the flannel with the keep moving forward on the sides and all that. Really big on the flannel patches. Just very expressive, you know what I'm saying, with the purple, the indigo child thing and all that. But yeah, so the fashion always is going to express what we do, you know what I'm saying? So some of it's flamboyant, some of it's very like laid back, We have like jean jackets that are two-toned, and just a lot of cool stuff to kind of just follow up with the music and like the motto and all that. We're always going to keep innovating fashion, keep that moving forward, keep the music moving forward, keep our personal like lifestyles moving forward. Like, I don't mean to bring this up, but I just think it's such a fucking great thing. But Tyler fucking quit smoking cigarettes and stuck to that. That's like a fucking definitely proof of like, self-growth and moving forward and just keep growing. Like no matter what it is in your life, it doesn't just have to be fucking music. That's why I said it's like a lifestyle thing. Someone could just want to be a better father or a better basketball player. It doesn't make a difference. You still got to have that attitude that you got to keep going.
That's dope, man. Absolutely. I had a question in terms of like, still on the, I guess what KMF is doing as a whole, not just the music, not just the fashion, but also for 2021. Because like, an album like 21, for example, and Baki when it's out, but like 21 that's out right now, like that's a crazy bop. Like there's a lot of records on that goes off, and I feel like that's a great record to play at a party. But is there any parties? Are you guys like? I mean, what's the deal with the live shit? Is that happening to you guys? You think that's 2021?
I mean, so far with like COVID and stuff, it's been hard, obviously, for everyone. I'm sure that in the very, very near future, there's going to be opportunities to do more.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, their phase right now, I believe is phase 4. It's 100 people that you can have. I could be wrong, but I think the venue-wise, 100-person venue. Yeah. Just saying, so like, do you feel like, if that's where we're at right now, do you feel like a future live something might come about?
Yeah, actually,
I want to force it yet, but yeah.
No, I think actually it's even more now. I saw the TD Gardens opened up to like 2,300 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of good. It plays in favor to the artist and not in the same way. Maybe tickets might be more expensive, but the intimacy of the show is gonna be cool. But I think in the very near future we're definitely gonna do shows. We definitely want to do them.
Mm.
You know, like there should be nothing stopping us from doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
So I got a follow-up question in terms of the KMF plans, future plans. You said you recorded 200 songs at Quad Studios. You got the Thai record that's out, the Baki album that's coming out, Indigo Child's coming out July, I believe, for Limitless. Chewy, I think you said you have a release coming out this year. I don't know if that encapsulates the full 200. No. Can we expect like a collective album or some shit like that to come out? Can we get a confirmation there maybe?
Yeah, only cause you gave us the opportunity to be here, and like this is really dope. Yeah, there is a KMF collective album coming out this year.
I love getting exclusives, man. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man.
I love getting some good exclusives. I had a feeling I didn't want because you guys didn't mention that, but I'm like, man, if you guys put down 200 songs at Quad, the numbers, when you crunch the numbers in, seems like there's more releases to be coming out. So
It's already mastered too. It's already done.
Every time we go, we keep expanding it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I felt like it was hard to pick the songs for 21. Like, yeah, it wasn't like, okay, we got 12 now, here's the project. It was like, fuck, we got a shit ton of songs. Like, we gotta start figuring out putting them out. Like,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
good problem to have.
Yeah, it was definitely a first time problem, but like a good one.
An embarrassment of riches, that's what they say.
Yeah. That sounds like my type of embarrassed.
Damn. So, would you say that's coming out this year too?
Yeah, that's definitely coming out this year.
Wow, you guys got a lot of stuff. I mean, 2021 is early. It's still early.
Oh man.
But it's looking like a KMF year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're trying.
I've said it before. 2021 is spoken for.
It's definitely 2000 in KMF.
Yeah, Limitless
Ladies
is.
and gentlemen, 2021 is spoken for.
Even though your record Limitless, hold that mic real quick. Your record is coming out July, Indigo Child, right?
Yes.
Way a ways away, but just give us, if you wouldn't mind, what can we expect from that record? Limitless, if y'all don't know, I mean, this guy's been in Lynn for a long time. I mean, I feel like I've seen you around plenty of places, and beautiful voice, like putting together. Is this your first official project?
Yeah.
Also?
First official project out. And I'm starting it off with a bang. Like I said, after Indigo Child, you're pretty much gonna know who I am, and then you're just gonna get continuous waves of overwhelming bangers and talent, features as well. On top of that, it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah. What was it like being your first official release, but having years under your belt beforehand? Like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like helped you prepare to put this body of work out?
So it's great that you formulated that question, because in my mind I was just thinking that, all this time with, the other opportunities I've had in music, that has all like prepped me up, basically buttered me up for this opportunity. Now that all this is happening, it's cake. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for this to happen, so now it's just I'm letting it, come into fruition.
And how'd you get connected with KMF?
Honestly, it was like, I told you before, I'm really big on energies. So when I started connecting with Jay Moon, we kind of felt that familiarity in our energies. Like, it was a mutual respect, you know what I mean? And after we made the first song, it was...
Man, tell them. We made a whole EP in a week. We made a whole project together.
Literally made a whole project in 1 week because it was that electric, you know what I mean? It was
With
that automatic, and you know what I mean? Chew, what I call is the Bill Nye science guy of beats. He's an animal. You know what I mean? And he put in a lot of long, excruciating hours, and all the hard work is just, it reflects
Paying off.
clearly through the music.
That's dope. That's dope. In terms of like what, is there like a central theme or like what can we expect content-wise from Indigo Child if you don't mind giving us a little sneak peek?
Content-wise, just a lot of relatable. What I would hope is a lot of relatable subjects, a lot of touchy subjects that I feel like I've experienced myself, and a lot of other people have experienced it as well. So I express them in ways and in songs that you get to enjoy it. You almost felt heard, but in a respectable way. So like, I speak for a lot of phases in life. You know what I mean? Indigo Child speaks for a lot of generations, a lot of pastimes. So.
Dope. Sick. I think I have a couple more questions. I think, how about if you pass it to Chew again?
Let's get it.
Because Chew, like I said, this man, Chewy works with, he's worked with, I would say, what percentage of Lynn artists do you think you've covered by this point?
I like numbers. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of people.
A large percentage, I would say, of Lynn artists you've worked with.
I can't really keep, I work with all these guys. Work with Slim, Juke, Khaleo. Those
Groove
guys.
Gods you've worked with.
Yeah, Groove Gods. I've worked with Khaleo and Corey since I first started kind of like getting my feet wet with like engineering. Really just trying to do that more, like aside from just doing it with the guys. So yeah, lot of work going on.
Yeah, what's that like? I'm sure when it comes to, just the collaboration process between you and an artist. We were talking about this earlier, and I actually loved your response, and I'm trying to get that again, I guess, which is like the way you worded. I can't word it the way you do because you have that producer mind where you're just like something you said like something. Some people like thinking color. Remember that?
Yeah. It's because like I heard that like Kanye West has synesthesia. Pharrell Williams, Billie Eilish, a bunch of other artists, and that concept interests me because I feel like I don't. And when I'm doing a lot of things, I tend to just look at numbers, colors, things that are just, I think, easy for people to reference to. I feel like most people have like a favorite color. Most people have a favorite number. And that just kind of gets like pulled into like a lot of different philosophies that like, I just like philosophy in general as like a science. So taking that and trying to relate it to music, I feel like they kind of go hand in hand because you can make it whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you want. So I guess like having that, just realizing that canvas, you can start talking about colors, like whatever I guess somebody works well with. So yeah, that's like super important. You just to like figure out somebody's niches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word. How are we doing on time, Kurt? I just want to do a time check.
So we're about 50 minutes, I'd say.
50? All right, let's wrap it up with a couple more questions. And then, again, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Not just for the podcast. You guys are only hanging with us for the past hour. They've been here all day, man. I pretty much held them hostage. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for the whole thing. I got a couple more questions. So we've pretty much covered, like, a lot of what you guys have in store this year. But I want to talk about, like, when you look at, like, the goal that you're trying to reach, not just this year, but just in general, what does that look like?
You want to speak on it?
Personally,
we can do each
however
one,
you want.
whatever, how you want it. We can close it out like that. If you guys want to do one at a time, how you view it, that's however you guys want to do it.
Starting with you.
Curious.
Change. Things are gonna change. Everything's changing. We're always growing. The music's gonna everybody's gonna hear a lot of new music that they haven't heard from all of us. As time goes on, this is gonna show it's like a point to show like what the next year and the next year after that is. So it's a point of change. It's a turning point. I feel like. What do you want?
The truther.
Good things coming. Keep moving forward. Infinite.
Truther.
I don't know. I feel like the goal is just to create such a giant shockwave that everybody from Lynn's able to capitalize from that and birth not another KMF, but like, you know, everybody else that's doing the same thing, like record labels. There's plenty of them out here on the rise. Like, if one record label does it out here, you know, the next one could. We could help each other with the connections and so on and so forth. So building just something that for the community, and also being a part of that, and just really creating that shockwave. That's the goal for me, at least.
Dope.
I think me personally, dropping the album, dropping more projects and adding up to the archive we got, you know what I'm saying, just creating this, you know, legacy that we got right now. Just keep building on it. I think we keep dropping stuff, people gonna see the vision, we gonna be up out of here soon. So that's just, like my boy Chewy said, we change. You know what I'm saying? We gonna change.
Word.
Yeah, I think the goal is just to like become more comfortable, you know, in the process, in the work, and to, you know, just keep pushing that, knowing that it's gonna continue to build what we've been building. So just, you know, do that, more of that.
Word.
I mean, ultimately, in the end of the day, we all come from different walks of life. So I feel like essentially we speak for the majority of the world. You know what I mean? And I feel like our mission is to just be the future of our expression, the future of music, in the different styles that we have to offer in the best way possible. And it's not so much trying to be better than anyone else, it's just being the best at this, pretty much.
Dope. Cool. Well, like I said, y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been amazing.
Shout out Grindhouse. Thanks for having us.
Man, shout out Chris and Eddie, man, every time, man. My boy Chris over there.
We've been here all day. Y'all the homies now.
Man. That's what I'm saying,
y'all the
bro.
homies now. We've been here all day.
So
yeah.
I obviously gotta plug a few things before we cut out. So definitely check out 21, Tyler Lovett, check him out. All streaming platforms. It's a crazy bop. You're gonna love it in the car, so definitely jam to it. Baki's coming out March 15th. Definitely keep an eye out for that. We got some more. We got, you know, Limitless project coming in July. We'll keep you posted on that. Anything else you guys want to plug before we?
We got Helios coming.
Helios.
Don't forget about Helios.
West Taylor and T-Bone.
Hell
Come
yeah.
on, man.
Hell yeah.
Don't forget that, man.
Yeah.
Put them things on your calendar. You heard?
A lot of big things coming from KMF. So if you guys appreciate what we do, if you guys fuck with us, make sure you guys are liking this, you're sharing this out, you're fucking with KMF. Yeah, show us some love, and thank you guys for hanging out. Peace.
Man, shout out RJ the GOAT, man.
Shout out RJ the GOAT.
Yo.